This is Fat Kings Friday for November 21st. I am Phil Olson.
And I am Fat Kings Walt.
And Andrew is joining us shortly. Welcome to the show. So he's having some, he got the new webcam hooked up, but basically the laptop still thinks it wants to use the original one. So he still looked like he was in a pink cave. And so we're going to wait till he'll join back in with the new camera as soon as he gets it working. So
Yeah, pink cave.
Pink cave. This might be unique in and of itself, right here. So
we might get some flags for this video.
fresh from the I was clicked on my picture, so you guys weren't seeing well. Fresh from the
they don't want to see
hospital. Me. Fresh from being jumped in to BSG.
My God. My incisions are still bleeding, and I'm on this freaking show.
Yeah, that's how much your king loves you, people.
Hey, Brian. Yeah, what's going on, guys? Yes, your king loves you from the bed. This is like my bed-in for peace. All we say is give sleep a chance.
He's jumping us into the bedroom right away. So
that's right.
That's his version of Naked November. He's going straight for it. So.
That's all I got. I actually did. I posted. I got to post it. I have a little Naked November thing. It's a tiny. Well, that doesn't sound right.
You're king, Walt. It's never tiny.
Yeah, that's funny. Never mind. We'll talk that. Edit that out.
If she said you can't, it's in the ether now, sir. It's too late. Oh God. So yeah, it seems like you had pretty much the same experience in the hospital that I did. It was like pretty much go in.
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm just so like waiting for the other shoe to drop. All I keep doing is I'm grateful, thankful, thank you God, thank every step I take. I mean, really, the only thing I have is like a tiny little bit of abdominal pain. It's really, I really have nothing to complain about. Really nothing. But one thing that is odd about it, which I wanted to ask you about in your veteran wisdom, I get this pain, and it's like right above, like sort of right above the belly button, and it's not particularly on an incision. But I was just wondering because I know I watch a lot of videos by Dr. Alvarez, with the endo-bariatric dude, and he always talks about how sometimes they do like this extra stitch to prevent hernias, so that might be what's pulling.
Yeah, I did notice that too, and then I didn't even realize I had stitches at first until one of the stitches was hanging out of the hole, and it was catching on my clothes. And I'm like, that is the most coarse hair I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Nope, it was a stitch, and and I felt them pop. You'll feel them pop as they dissolve. You'll be doing something, all of a sudden you'll be like, oh, what the? Did I just friggin' bust my muscle? No.
My God! Well, thanks for telling me that. Actually.
Yeah, warning.
It's so funny though. I mean, I really feel like, honestly, if I didn't watch all these videos and really get to know everybody and get the information from you guys, I would have been completely unaware of a lot of different things. I mean, they do a decent enough job to tell you what to expect, I guess, at these centers. But even, I mean, and I think the people I went to were just the best. I mean, and they still just can't tell you, all these little things that actually happen. Some of them are nice to know, like that. Popping, you might get concerned about that. It would be nice if they did say something like that. But anyway, that's my rant of the day.
If you feel that popping, just stick your finger right up your ass and you'll be fine.
Stick your finger in the dike. Yeah.
That's about the only thing that kind of freaked me out was the popping stitch. And then, but other than that, yeah, it was pretty straight up, man. It wasn't.
Wait, and you had that fucking horrible cold, like
that was. That was far worse than the surgery because then I was sneezing and coughing. And
you have no idea because Andrew. Well, anyway, real quick, I was about to say I'm staying with my mother and I'm basically quarantined. She's had a cold for the last 2 weeks, so we're staying away from each other. Like I love you through the wall. I'm sending a text. I love you. So God forbid, because the last thing I want is a cold.
No, you do not. You do not want that. That would be bad. So.
Is it?
You must still be joining.
Andrew, are you there? Jake from State Farm?
Jake from State Farm? We don't talk about other insurance companies.
She sounds hideous.
She sounds hideous. I know, that is a pretty funny commercial. I don't know why I think
I laughed when I first saw it for sure. I thought that was good. I don't usually, but that was pretty good.
So, man, you lost. I mean, just I think we really should do this because I assume because you and I talk all the time now. But Give the people the background in case they aren't familiar with your channel at all, because I can imagine there's a few, but we did it with Andrew. We probably should do it with you.
Okay, well, hi. My name is Walter, and I am a food addict. Thank you for sharing.
Hi, Walter.
No, basically, I had gotten to a point where I had a series of different progressively worse injuries, back injuries, knee injuries, and I had lost a bunch of weight and then lost my job, put on the weight, yada, yada, yada. It just blew out of control. I've been heavy my entire life, and to varying degrees, and I would have a lot of successes, and those successes, just like a typical yo-yo, you lose 100 pounds, you gain back 150, and it's just been a steady stream of ups and downs, peaks and valleys my entire life. Even as a small child, I remember being 7, 8 years old, always being heavy, always trying to do something to lose weight my entire life. And so anyway, this last go around, things got pretty grim, pretty rough. I was in really, really bad shape, basically living in my sister's basement, and I had ballooned to 500 pounds, and I was in really, really bad shape, and also heavy. He had told me about the sleeve procedure. He had mentioned it to me, and I was always just hell-bent to get home. You got to be crazy to do that. I mean, that's just like, it's against God. God gave you stuff. I was very, say it loud, I'm fat and I'm proud. I carried that banner. I was one of those dudes that, was like, people would order a salad and, does that come with a tampon? You freaking, Nancy boy, you bust people's chops for living healthy, and I had I could go for 2 hours ranting about light beer and how light beer has ruined this country, and what's the matter with you drinking light beer? What kind of man are you? So anyway, speaking of beer, you say beer and he shows up. You see how that works?
What? Magic words.
That's so funny. But anyway, so long story short, so I'm just going over my life story, Andrew. Sorry, but it's all about me right now. I will get to you.
He had his chance last week.
So anyway, long story short, the prospect of the surgery, I began to research the surgery, and I came onto YouTube, and I started to see all the success and all of the different videos, and it became tangible, became real to me that this could actually happen. Not only just happen, but be permanent. That sense of permanency was an amazing thing to me. So I had always been able to lose weight, just never been able to keep it off. It's pretty much a typical story. So that really fueled me. That gave me the incentive to really try to turn things around. It was very difficult because I had very little mobility, and I had always been one of those people that equated weight loss with exercise. I guess it's just a guy thing, maybe. I don't know, but that was my thing. I mean, I always thought the only way I was going to lose any significant weight here was going to be through exercise, and then my mobility was so bad that I just felt like I was stuck, and what can I do? I'm going to eat salad. I'm going to lose 10 pounds, but what does that mean? I need to lose a significant amount of weight, and it just got spiraled out of control. But eventually, slowly but surely, I made nutritional changes, and I will say what the first hospital that I went to, the nutritionist was very nice and sort of gave me some ideas, and it was the first time I had ever tried protein shakes. I always thought that was for bodybuilders. I read somewhere once that they said that you shouldn't call people obese, you should call them nutritionally illiterate or uninformed, whatever it was. And I had gone on diets before, but the things I was doing were the changes I was making were correct, but not good enough. Like I really learned this time around to really get rid of the sugar and really watch the carbs. You get rid of the carbs as much as you can, and all those little things. So long story short, I lost 112 pounds. It's been a crazy journey. All of my videos are there, but my father passed, and there were lots of pitfalls and lots of snares along the way. But I held true to it, and thankfully I just had the surgery on the 10th, and things are going great. And that's pretty much the story so far.
Yeah, I think the only other guy I know who lost a significant amount of weight like that before the surgery was Peaks out of New Zealand. So
Peaks is one of my heroes, man. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So that is impressive. I mean, Andrew, you lost quite a bit too pre-op, but
yeah, Andrew's no joke either.
Yeah.
I think I lost, and it was mostly just within the last month or even 3 weeks before. I think I was 45 or so pre-op.
That's still.
It was all protein shake. I think it was just a shock to my system, and then it just dropped.
Yeah, it's funny. You guys were at while you were talking about sugar. I know somebody in the audience knows where I'm going with this. So, I
I know
recently had a challenge too. When I was in Australia, we started. I was just, I ate well and stuff, but I started getting a little bit of sugar back in my diet through my coffee, and then I was having 2 or 3 coffees a day, well, not an excessive amount. And then I got home and I was walking by the candy bowl. I'll have one. It's only 100 calories, I'll have one today and one on Thursday and one on Saturday, whatever, And so I was recently challenged to join my compatriot in Australia, little Aussie Mel, to cut sugar. So we are back on the just cut sugar out of your diet thing to get the carbs back out of your system. And man, it's only been a day and it's already rough. We both were commiserating earlier about this. So yeah, getting that sugar out, man. Don't let it get back in. That's leave it out. don't let it happen.
No, it's not easy, especially when you drink. If you're drinking sodas and I love Coca-Cola, but I used to drink a lot of iced tea, and sweet iced tea. You drink a Snapple iced tea. I hope they're not a sponsor. But I used to drink. You drink a Snapple iced tea, and I forget how many grams of sugar in it is. But if you look at the label, a regular size bottle has serving size 2,
right?
And the sugar is through the roof, and then you're supposed to multiply that. I'm like, what the hell? Who's going to drink half of that little bottle? They try to hide the sugar content, but yeah, there was so much sugar in those drinks. I mean, it's crazy. But again, it's like all the times I lost weight. Like every time I lose weight, I try to say I learned something else, and I don't know. To me it really is it's a sickness because better. You do these little things, and then slowly but surely you let them creep in. It's something you have to. Unfortunately, it's like an alcoholic. Some people can go to a party, they can drink whatever they want, they can have a good time, but an alcoholic doesn't have that option, and that's just, we have to white knuckle our way through life. Unfortunately, we have an eating disorder. We have to do that. That's just where we are. But right now, I got to tell you, with my new vampire stomach, I don't think I want food anymore. I don't know this is the weirdest feeling I've ever had. I honestly have no idea what hunger is anymore.
And you'll feel...
Oh, we locked up just for a minute. Go again.
We crossed the streams, Ray.
You dropped out, Andrew. Go ahead.
Okay. No, I was gonna say, yeah, you'll continue to feel that because even now, I'm about 2 months or so out, and yeah, I still have yet to have that feeling of hunger.
It's great.
Yeah, you will get that weird head hunger craving crap going on. And God knows, I'll tell you, I'm way out, so you guys don't have to worry about this. But last night before last, it was last night. I was right back into that stress eating mentality. I wasn't hungry, and so I just ate every hour. I was eating something, and man, that shit really freaked me out. It freaked me out bad last night because I knew what I was doing, but I didn't stop. So that's why I got all.
It's scary. It's really scary that a lot of people will tell you, you can gain it back. Why would you do the surgery? I'm like, that's not what I want to hear. But it is dangerous. It is. Unfortunately, we have to stay on top of it. Even when you hit goal, I think it's probably even harder when you hit goal because, it's sort of like an artist or a poet, who's then when you become successful, you can't write about sorrow anymore, So maybe, I don't know, if when you hit goal, if it might even be harder because you don't feel you have to maintain as hard, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh shit, I'm slipping here.
Yeah, there's been a lot of people in the community who've recently hit goal that were struggling with that. So that's something that you kind of deal with when it gets there. But that's why I thought for me it was so critical to have a phase 2 goal. If I knew if I hit goal and I didn't have anything else to chase.
Right, you got to have the goals. You got to keep doing that. It's a great idea.
Yeah. So, but
great way to go.
But we're here to educate the newbies. That's why I'm at goal. This is why we had to bring in the new heavy hitters. So you can talk about pertinent stuff than the new guys.
I'm just so confused right now. I have to tell you, I'm terrified of. I had the one experience in the hospital, day 2, where we were leaving. I knew my sisters were coming to pick me up, and I knew I had like a couple of hours. They took me off the fluids, so they were like, "You're on your own now." Blah 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 blah. And I started drinking, and I had too much over time. Like I guess within an hour, I had way too many little ounce cups. And then I had all the gas. I mentioned it in my video, but I had all this gas. I was trapped. I felt like there was nowhere to go, and I felt so bloated. And I don't want to feel that way again. But I'm still feeling like I could drink a lot more water than I do, water or however we regionally pronounce it. But and I feel like I could get in a lot more, but I just don't want to press it. And even I just started Puree yesterday, and I started with a little. I actually had baby food. Oh, it was just delicious. Oh, wow. But even with the little bits of food I've had, I just don't know. Like, I don't want to press it, and it's just such a weird feeling. It's very strange.
What did you do for Purees, Andrew? Sorry.
Really? You don't say.
I think you're muted.
I could read those lips all day.
I know. Look at those sexy, luscious lips moving about.
Things. Oh, baby.
This is what happens when we introduce new technology, and we don't get online early. This happens to us every time. It doesn't matter if we had gone online early and we.
Who's producing this shit show?
Everything would have been great, but not today. Now
we need a producer who knows what he's doing.
Yeah. We'll just you go back to repairing your thing and join us when you can. We'll be here.
Go play with your thing.
Go play with your thing.
There you go. I hope your daughter didn't hear that. I hope you're in a sealed place.
He's in the quiet room.
He's in the quiet room.
He's in the quiet room. So Purees for me. I couldn't. I took.
Do you even remember your Puree?
Yeah, I totally remember. Yeah, I grabbed the hearty, chunky soup. Like the thick stuff with the chunks. Put it in the blender and I blend that shit down to like.
That sounds good, actually.
The best thing I ever ate. Because I was not worried about calories because I was like, I'm barely getting.
Why would you? Yeah,
2 ounces. Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Oh, 2 ounces of soup, I'm full. I mean, I could eat that whole can all day and I'd be fine,
Oh
so.
my God. I mean, oh my God. I mean, the things I used to do. I mean, I just remember. It's so funny. One thing that's really funny is since the surgery, I'm watching nothing but cooking shows.
Oh, they're everywhere, and commercials for pizza and burgers.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's everywhere.
But I laugh at it now. It's like, silly humans. I am undead. This does not mean anything to me. My Nosferatu sleeve.
I always say fucking normies. I just sit there and I say fucking normies.
Normies. Oh man.
Even my wife says something sometimes. It'll be a fucking normie.
Oh, that's great. I used to call people mundanes. That was my thing. I used to watch. I don't know if you're geek enough to know Babylon 5.
Oh yes.
Oh, that is another thing we got to talk about. It's one of my favorite shows. But that and Firefly. We got too many geek things to talk
Brown
about.
coats, yes.
Oh, my brown coats. But that's I used to love that when he used to call them the non-psychics mundanes, and as I used to call normal people mundanes. You don't know what it's like to sit to look at a chair and know exactly the structural integrity.
Oh, yeah. Like you got a Borg implant, you can just scan the damn chair and know the.
Nope, that ladder will not hold me. No way.
Are you back, Andrew? See if you can hear you.
Can you hear me, guys?
Oh yes, look at that.
Oh,
he's got sound and video.
Thank God. Oh, so yeah. I sounded great last week, but I was in a cave. Now I look great, but you can't hear shit.
Right. Now we can hear you, and you're just a little pink. But we'll deal with that later.
That's like
a white balance issue. We can fix that later. So.
It's your rose period.
I'm in my lovely daughter's room. Yes.
There you go.
Aw, that's so cute.
I know.
I'll get my teddy bear in honor of that. Oh, Brian says hello.
Yeah, the first video I see with Walt, he's in bed cuddling a teddy bear. I'm like, it's just gone.
Listen,
badly.
That's the way I roll. Anal on the first
day. Not his stomach. So, Andrew, I'm sorry. What do you remember your Puree stage?
Oh, I mean, Puree stage for me was really a lot of blended soups. That was the big part of it, and it was. I really didn't have too much as far as a pureed like real food. I did blended soups and a lot of, and I still do Greek yogurt.
Love Greek yogurt, yeah.
But I really just did soft, like already. Most of the time it was just naturally soft food. I didn't do a lot of the purees.
Yeah, the other thing I forgot I did too was I got the chunk chicken in the can, and then I would mix it in with mashed potatoes, and because I couldn't eat much of mashed potatoes either, it's just too bulky, but just enough to give me a little texture and a little bit of something to help get the chicken in, and that seemed to help. But the soup was definitely the saving grace, man, for sure.
I bought the Gooch Monster cookbook, and he says for pureed you should have poutine.
Pureed poutine, yeah, that's Gooch merch. Goochmerch.com. You can go there and buy Gooch stuff. So
now he is sponsoring the show, so I mean at least we can plug him.
Right, yeah, exactly. we have to abuse him and plug him.
I mean, Sarah plugs him all the time, so we.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see some traditions will go on without me.
We have to. He stole my woman, man.
Oh, son of a.
I had a chance.
So you're saying? Well, I think you're still in that.
I love
somewhere
that.
in that line of husbands. You're in there somewhere. So.
Yeah, listen. I'm trying to keep him honest for Sarah's sake. I'm keeping him honest.
Yeah, you could be character assassinating him all day just to move up in rank, and you're not. You're doing a good thing. You're taking the high road.
Yeah, I try to be cool. You know, I listen. I learned from him. Play the long con.
The long con, right? Yes, long con. So Andrew, what's your week been like? I know you didn't have surgery this week, but how's things been going for you?
No surgery, but I've been cut open a lot at work this week. Just busy as all get out. But I mean, I went back and actually did work out on Tuesday, and that actually is a lot better. I lifted weights, and I actually feel like a hell of a lot better, whereas last Wednesday when I lifted, I was still feeling it even Sunday morning, but now I lifted on Tuesday, and I mean, even yesterday I felt fine. So I feel like I could definitely go back and, go again, but I mean, other than that, it's just been a lot of, a lot of work and busy shit and, family life. Boring.
That's all part of the game. So this is interesting. So next week, and we'll just kind of plug this in here too. So next week, being that Thursday, next week is Fat Man's Holiday.
Right.
The Holy Fat Man's Day. There won't be a Fat Kings next week, but then on 12/3, I believe that's the date. Your two new kings will be flying solo. I'll be in the background helping out where needed, but they will be flying solo. So be prepared for that. And so what are you guys doing for Turkey Day? I mean, do you have any thought? I mean, Walter, this is probably a blender and a piece of turkey is your future.
Yeah, pretty much.
A spoonful of mashed potatoes maybe for him.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe if I'm lucky. I'm just gonna have just gonna grind up some cranberry sauce.
Right. That actually might be the right consistency. You might not even have to. It might be all right.
No, absolutely.
No giblets.
What about you, Andrew? You got any plans?
Yeah, we're actually loading up the car Wednesday morning and heading out to the middle of nowhere, West Virginia, for the extended weekend. I've Ryan's dad's side of the family is all out there, so we're going to spend the weekend, and I got my two younger brothers coming in as well, and so we're going to hang out for the extended weekend, goof off, and probably film some more Everybody Dance Now videos for the next couple of months. Yeah,
dude, I finally saw that, by the way. Very funny. Very cute.
Awesome. I was hoping you would. I didn't know, so.
Yeah, I caught up. Actually, last night I actually binge watched a ton of videos because I just been out of commission. But yeah, It was very funny.
Yeah, we were a little nervous there when you first got back.
I know I'm an asshole.
But that's all right.
I did post I mean, come on! I posted right out of the freaking gate.
Well, that's what scared us because I'm like, wow, he's still in the freaking hospital. He's posting. This is gonna be awesome. But
right,
we're like,
I made up for today. I sent a couple of good ones today though.
Yes.
Or yesterday, whatever.
Well, did he slip and fall in the hall in the hospital? What happened?
Exactly. We heard the internet was out for a couple of days, and I'm like,
there was fire in my manhole. You didn't hear about the fire in my manhole?
Exactly. That's gonna be that might be ongoing. Fire in my manhole, man.
They have a pill for that now, guys.
Yeah, oh, good. I'll look into that.
It's just real quick, and then
Pills and creams. Pills and creams.
pills and creams. That's right. Oh Jesus! So
Yeah,
let's
right
get
now.
into if anybody's got questions for Walt especially, or Andrew, if you missed last week, get them in, man, get them in. So
Yeah, I've been checking a lot of comments. A lot of people watching in, which is awesome. And VSG Tanya said she used to watch a lot of diners, drive-ins, and dives after surgery, which that would drive me
Nice.
off the wall.
I was just saying, all I do is watch cooking shows now. It's the weirdest thing, and I don't care. My Nosferatu stomach just doesn't care. I just sit there and I go, oh, that's an interesting recipe. Oh, that's nice. And I used to watch it and go, oh, my God, that looks so good. I could care less now. It's just the weirdest sensation.
I'll be interested to see how you react in the next couple of weeks to smells. Because I don't know about you, but
Oh,
I mean,
that a proposition?
I had a big problem. Well, and I was going to say big problem, but to me, and even now, when I smell something, like I got a coworker who loves to go out for,
Curry.
you name it, Mexican, fried chicken, Chinese, and on the other side, I sit on the other side of the wall, but I've got a fan that basically pumps whatever smell is coming from his desk right in my face. And even now, I'm still like, shit, that smells so good. So smells are still kind of, that's where definitely that head hunger kicks in for me. So I'll be interested to see how that works, because I still feel the same way you do. Like, a lot of times the food itself, you're not hungry, and right now it's very easy to make a good decision. But like I said, the smells for me, man, they've been really fucking with me.
It makes sense.
I was the other way. Like, everything had such an intense smell. I was like, Jesus Christ, get that away from me. Like, please, don't make that in the house, or don't bring that in the house, because for a long time it was like that. And yeah, I know that chilled out after a while, thank God. But yeah, I couldn't take the smell of anything. Oof, it was rough.
Well, I want to ask you guys, since I have the ghost of the future and the ghost of the way out future with me here, right now, so since I started the Puree phase, it's a whole different animal now, because with the liquids I'm still struggling to figure out where the limit is. I haven't really crossed the line, and I'm so afraid, everything's tippy-toe, and I have my little baby spoon, and and see, what confuses me is they'll tell you, okay, well, when you try something for the first time, have a bite and wait to see how you react to it. Okay, so I let 10 minutes go by, and if nothing happens, I assume I'm cool with it. And then I'm just like, but I'm eating so slow. So that's my question to you, to put it in a nutshell. If I taste something new for the first time, and then I wait 10 minutes and I don't explode, then how much do you eat? Like, do you just keep spoonful, take a breath spoonful, or do you take a spoonful, wait 2 minutes, and then take another spoonful?
I'll let you take this one, Phil.
Yeah, I'll say, I'm trying to remember back a little bit more to like when I was there, but like, I think for me, once I knew it was okay, I just took slow, intentful spoonfuls, especially in the puree phase where I didn't have to chew. Because if you have to chew, at least it kind of slows me down, barely. But
Right.
I'd always pre-measure whatever I was eating. So I'd be like, this is 4 ounces of soup. That is all I know that my stomach will possibly hold.
Right.
And I'd get about halfway through that, and about halfway through I'd be like, no, I'm done. There's just that
Okay.
one spoon, you'll be like, yep, I'm done. And you'll put the spoon down, and that's it. It's over.
So you should eat at a basically normal, kind of slower pace, but steady. You shouldn't sit there and wait like another 10 minutes. The first time you wait is the first time, and then just kind of go for it slowly.
I
The
definitely
only
would
problem
say-
I had was when my stomach was still swollen and the air bubbles were trying to come up and the liquid's trying to go down, and that pressure you get behind your rib cage and that that diaphragm pressure, I would go slow enough to not kick that in, because otherwise, once that gets going, then you're up staying and walking around and you're like, oh goddamn, walking and swearing and all kinds of fun stuff. So, but I'm a gold star sleever. I've never thrown up the whole time. So
I want to be just like you, Uncle Phil.
yep. Well, I recommend it.
My
I'm
hero.
on that path too. I haven't puked.
Oh, okay. So we'll see who. We should do it right now. Let's have a bet who pukes first.
Oh shit!
Right now,
All
put
right.
it on the table like Seinfeld.
All right.
Oh god.
But no,
And then what we'll do. Oh, and then but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
No.
and then when we'll all be there at the San Diego, because I'm going to get Phil to come. Then we'll really try to make each other puke. Then we'll throw in some scotch and really see who pukes first.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a good time. He said the magic word to get me there, scotch.
Oh my god, that was my. Oh my god, I love scotch. But anyway,
Well, the beauty of so like I was telling Andrew last week, like I liked beer, and I was starting to get into the more like like more like especially out here, the small brew beers, the micro brews, the really unique, different, really dark, heavy, like really zesty, tasteful stuff. But after VSG, I was like, it's just too heavy, too many calories, I can't do it. So I kind of transferred that over to Scotch, which is a much more expensive hobby, but especially when you eat the old ones. But God, there's those same nuances like a wine has sometimes, real big. There's a word for this, and I can't think of it. I want to say vignettes, but that's not right. Wine connoisseurs. Right, that's it. Yeah.
Sommelier or whatever it is. Yeah.
So they have the subtle flavors and the different things that they can pick up, and I'm sure that's the same with beers. But it's definitely the same with the scotches. So.
Big time, yeah. Yeah, I have some friends who are like real high, like scotch snobs, and we used to drink. I mean, I haven't had a drink in years since I've been on blood pressure meds, sadly. But yeah, scotch, Glenlivet, all the different. Any Glen will do, pretty much.
Any Glen will do.
But Andrew, did we cut you off there for a second? I'm sorry, buddy.
Oh no, it's cool. I was gonna say, Phil, I am definitely jealous because you're on Colorado, which is basically craft beer country. And then I was talking a little bit with little Aussie Mel because she sent me that link to that no carb beer that you were talking about,
yep.
Phil. Mm-hmm. I looked that up, and then I did some research at the beginning of this week. I was really curious about how the hell you make a no carb or even like a really low carb beer, and I figured it out. So I'm still going to homebrew. I'm going to be putting this into practice so I can have flavorful low carb beer, and I'm going to kill it in the weight loss surgery community with low carb kick-ass beer.
Nice. I can't wait to help you taste it. You're going to need someone to help you taste it.
Oh, absolutely. I'll send something your way without a doubt.
All right.
Speaking of lamb, she just put in the chat, Walter, my dietitian recommended taking no longer than 20 minutes to eat a meal. Eat slowly, but not ridiculously so. So
I got you. Okay, that makes sense.
If you get to the 20-minute mark and you're like, your hunger should be gone at that point. Probably a good spot to stop. That's actually probably good advice.
But I don't know what hunger is anymore. That's my problem. Like I'm just eating because they're telling me to. Honestly, at this point, I have not any inkling of hunger whatsoever. Very strange.
It'll become a different kind of like what I think of as hunger now is not what I thought of as hunger in the past. It's a different feeling, and you'll learn it. It'll be different for you, but like there'll be like you'll feel empty. And then you'll start to eat, and then you'll have the pressure feeling. It'll start right behind your rib cage, right behind your diaphragm. You'll have this like pressure, and it'll take a while to get used to what that means. But you'll feel it, and you'll be like, "That's it." You're like, I'm done. Like as soon as you feel that, you're done, because one more spoonful is not going to go well for you. So.
I got to double that because it's exactly I know exactly what Phil's talking about with that feeling, because it's not. Because I try to describe it to other people, and I say it's not painful, but it feels like it could be it's basically my stomach saying it's heavy, there's a fullness, and you're done. Like time to tap out and stop. But it's definitely a new feeling that I'm getting used to with that fullness. But yeah, and another thing I was going to say too, just kind of reiterate with Phil, is I would certainly whatever you're eating, is make sure you pre-measure it and say, if regardless of how long it's going to take me, this is my limit as far as the amount I'm going to eat.
Right.
You may take 20, 25 minutes, and you may not finish it at all. But at least if you are eating and it's going down fine, you can still say, okay, well, I'm done. Because if you don't know what hunger is, you'll certainly know when you're full. But you definitely want to pre-measure and try and I don't want to say track, but it's good to kind of have a good, tracking it throughout the day doesn't hurt.
And here's why that's extra important: is later when you can't eat more, you'll go back to old habits. You'll just start eating fast again, and you'll start doing I can't break the eating fast part, but I know that's 4 ounces of chicken, that's 4 ounces of turkey sausage, that's a 4-ounce piece of meat. Like, that's it. I am done after that. And then if I'm so hungry, there's some vegetables or whatever, good. But, my protein first, and then from there I take in the other stuff. So, it's crazy. Funny, TJ just posted a picture in my Facebook chat of him and I when we were at our biggest. And we were at a Kevin Smith show, actually. And it's pretty crazy to see, because I'm like, wow, it's like this is where we started, and you guys are pretty much starting, not too far off this mark. That's crazy,
Yeah, I think at this point, I think you and I mean, are still pretty close within, relatively few amount of pounds. We're pretty close together.
Yeah, and we both lost a significant amount of weight. Like, I had posted this on your video. Phil and TJ did a good job. They picked a couple of winners, man. They really did. I got to give them credit.
Absolutely.
I think you guys, the beauty of the fact that I said this before, and I'm just reiterating it for folks who are just catching the show now, but because you guys probably brought some of your audience to this show, vice versa. I'm sure some of this audience is going to get up on your channels, but the idea being that is, like, you guys started bigger, so you have other things you can talk about that TJ and I probably never would have. And then B, you guys are going to take a while to get that off, so you'll be able to pull more newbies along and teach them as you go while you're in it, to where, I'm ready to just start. And I was thinking about this, and I'll bring this up too, is I'm definitely thinking about starting up a show, not that I would necessarily host every time, but called Coffee Talk or something. That TJ and I talked about this at one point, but I think have different veterans hosted every week, and have that for the veterans, so that they can, as people are getting ready to get the goal, or as they're just past goal and they want to transition, they have that veterans voice too over on the other side, while you guys are like the voice of, hey, we're in the middle of the thick of it. So I think you guys are going to bring a lot to it, and I do think that to that degree, TJ and I were getting, not that we weren't helpful, but we were just getting dated. That wasn't our experience anymore. So.
Oh, you guys were in your I wouldn't say the maintenance phase, but you were in, like you call it, phase 2. You're in the next part of the weight loss process. Regardless if it's weight loss surgery, just weight loss period, you've hit your mark, and now you've got other things to focus on that are still weight loss related, but not focusing strictly on the numbers.
Right. But I personally feel that, I'm just someone. I was pre-op, and I watched you guys religiously. And I still took a lot of value out of it, because I'm one of those, I'm a chess player. I like to know what's coming, so that's okay. I just put it in the vault and go, okay, so 6 months out, a year out, this is what I might be looking forward to. And it also, seeing the future lets you know what you should start doing now to avoid those same pitfalls. So I think there's a lot of value in veterans, and I think, I watched plenty of videos and I was following veterans, and I was following, pre-op people. So, I hope that you guys, don't disappear in any way. As a matter of fact, I would love to do some shows with the 4 of us. I think that would be freaking hilarious and phenomenal. As you guys, it's like anything else. Maybe you'll pull away for a little while, and then maybe you want to come back on. Whatever. This will and will always be your show. So I cannot wait till that, because I love TJ and I love you too, Phil. And the thought of you guys like not being around would really kind of suck. So that's just my.
Yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere myself. I'm still going to do my weeklies, and like I said, I'm always available if you guys need a co-host. Like, when you can't make it, whatever, that's fine. But yeah, no, I think I'd love to get at some point just pull back together in a few months, and all of the 4 of us get together and bust each other's chops while everybody watches and makes comments and has a couple drinks. But that sounds good to me too. So it's I'm not going anywhere. To be honest, I'm not going anywhere. I need it. I need the accountability. I kind of think I fall in Tanya's camp and Corey's camp. I know Corey's been busy with his house, but the accountability of it, the ability to reconnect with people in the community. Just having Mel even as just such a close friend, where like she could do this sugar thing, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it with you because I'm freaking out about how much I ate last night, and I know that's all carbs, and I'm craving carbs and crap. Just something like that, where we can just like, okay, let's stop this shit before it becomes a problem. I'll help you with it, you help me with it. Done. That's the kind of community we have, and that I don't want to give that up.
But one other thing I really wanted to say quickly too was, that I get that obviously, actually, we're all making these videos and being a part of the community because of the shared experience. So it makes sense that you want someone that's sort of in the same place as you are. So for vets to communicate with vets, it makes perfect sense. But one thing that I valued very much so when I first started making videos was when the veterans would post, when the vets posted, and that would really make my day, because it's like, oh, this is great, because now I have someone who knows. So if I have a problem, I can reach out to one of these veterans, and I can really get an idea of what to expect, and they have the knowledge that I'm looking for. So, so I'd hate to see. I know it's natural. I mean, that's just the way it goes. People they kind of graduate, and then they sort of take breaks and they disappear. And like I was just Ryan's journey. He just made this video. This is a little while right before I went into surgery, and the first thing he said was, "I haven't made a video, but I'm not going to apologize." And I thought that was great, because I would never want you to apologize for going and living your life. I mean, I get it. So, but at the same time, it's just like you need veterans. I mean, the veterans are really, really important to the pre-op people. That's you guys may feel like you have nothing of value left to say, but you do. It's important. So
yeah, and I don't know that I don't remember when I said this on which show, but and maybe I said this to you guys offline, but like you get Tanya and I talk, Sarah and I talk, other Sarah and I talk, Mel and I talk to Chris Waffle, I talk to Kirk every now and again. I touch.
That is one thing I love, by the way. The waffles are I love them.
Yeah.
Awesome people.
No, they are such, and Chris and Tanya have been out a little further, and they can kind of give you that perspective, and so yeah, I definitely understand the value of that. And then I think the problem is what happens is you get so, like, your journey becomes so specific, like there's certain baggage and things that comes along the pike that you're dealing with specifically,
Sure.
that maybe somebody else had a different experience with, and there's just so many people you want to like kind of share that with sometimes, so it makes it a little hard to talk about publicly, hence my veg booking. But there's I do agree with you that there's value, because when Corey posts or Kirk or any of the veterans post, I'm right there watching with you. I mean, because they're a class ahead of me, so I still feel like they're still my veterans.
Right.
Even though I've kind of like become their peer, in the sense of like, oh, past this and past that. But we have hit different experiences along the ways at different times. Me focusing so much just on the physical, I didn't deal with a lot of the mental. Sarah dealt with a lot of the mental, so she can kind of give me that. Tanya's a little further out. She hit all those things, and then shit I probably haven't even thought of yet. So it's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely. I definitely agree with you. There's definitely value in sticking around. So.
And Tanya's a voodoo queen, so just the spells that she has right there.
Yeah. Which veterans did you really identify with, Andrew?
Oh man, well, because I just kind of jumped in quickly, and it took me a while to, I jumped in quickly with making videos, and then it took me a little bit longer to start following people. I think some of the first one for me was Gooch Monster. So I know I was young and dumb. I mean,
happens
oh
to
my
us
God,
all.
I almost busted a stitch.
Well, you know what, man? In your defense, I mean, really, Gooch just modeled him. He just took all of TJ and all of me and kind of combined them, and so in your defense, it was kind of like watching Fat Kings. But go ahead.
Right. And I did start gravitating towards Fat Kings, and I mean, I honestly, for a while, it wasn't that I didn't check out veteran pages. I started following along with people more along my stages where I was. So those are the people that I've really connected with more. I mean, now I've connected more with a few other, obviously you. I talk with Lacey, and there's a few others here and there. But I mean, I'm starting to get to the point where I'm watching some of the old veterans videos, new videos, older videos. So I'm kind of catching up to that, where a lot of what I've been doing is finding, new people who are, just post-op or, still in the pre-op phase. So I've been watching, obviously, Walter and Dennis and a whole bunch of the current people.
And yeah, I know for me it was like Kirk and Mike, and like there just weren't a lot of guys. I've told this story 1,000 times, so I won't go too deep. But it was like all of the guys that were out there were the Bears, and like thank God for them. I've said this 1,000 times because there just were no other guys.
You don't have enough Bears anymore. It's terrible.
Yeah, they've all shrunk down. What are they?
The forest is empty.
They're what the fuck? I don't know. I'll have to check in with them. They'll have to give me the new classification. But they're not bears anymore. They're too small to be bears.
Oh, Twinks.
Twink. I don't know that they're Twinks either.
They're not Twinks. No, they're not Twinks.
Yeah, probably like I don't know. I have to. Okay, we don't want to offend, so we'll get the official lingo. So
there we go.
I just want to do a quick plug for IsoPure. Thank you. One of our sponsors.
Drinking a lot of that shit in my life. I don't drink it anymore, but man,
good times.
They made some money off me. Let's leave it at that.
Oh, I'm sure. Hey, I've seen a couple of questions here that have come through that I think would be good, especially Walter here, because I mean, just going into the post-op phase, it's been a little bit back here, but VSG Beautyface had asked, how can I get over the pre-op jitters?
Oh, you want me to touch that one?
Yeah, touch on that one because you're the one who's just come out of pre-op phase.
Well, I actually had a really weird experience. Now, at the time, I mean, I have a little bit of different factors because my father had passed, and that was sort of under like medical, like our faith in medicine and doctors was at its lowest. So there was that aspect of it. And also, right before my father died, 2 months before my best friend's father died,
right.
And that was a medical. So there was a lot of that going on. But for some reason, I was completely gung ho, and then all of a sudden, I made a video about it. There's this 1 week where all of a sudden I just started having this dread, this absolute dread, and it wasn't like I thought I was making a bad decision. It was just a weird feeling, and I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just like this shadow just came over me, and it was just weighing me down. And I think, one of the weirdest things is that it's so funny. And actually, we were in a chat I was in a chat with you and Lace. Lace wanted to be on the show, and it's like when you're pre-op, it's like people, no one wants to talk about the complications, it seems like, and you feel like somebody's got to be the one. I don't want to be the one, and it's like, and everybody in the community was so like, most people have a success with it, but you just there's always that fear, like, oh, like this. I think it's because we're used to having that failure in a sense, like we're used to wanting something and trying so hard for something, believing in something and working so hard at something, and then having it blow up in our face eventually. I think there might be something to that. But all I can say is the best thing to do is just, really just look at the statistics. I mean, one of the things that stuck in my mind was my aunt passed away last year. I got a whole sob story I can go on to, but when I was visiting her in the nursing homes, I just happened to look around and I didn't see any fat 60-year-olds. Not morbidly obese, maybe a little heavy, maybe 10 pounds overweight, but there were no super morbidly obese 60-year-olds, and that just lets you know, like, they die off, and so you're on borrowed time. I mean, everybody is, so you have to weigh, the consequences with that eventuality of eventually your bad habits or this lifestyle is going to catch up with you, and there's risks in everything. You can get killed walking your doggy, if I can quote Al Pacino in Heat. Anything can happen. So you just have to. I think you just have to go for it. I mean, it just depends on what your situation is. Like maybe you're on the cusp if you're really low BMI, but I think if you have over 100 pounds to lose and you've failed, you've done everything you can, it almost becomes almost sort of a no-brainer at that point. And anyway, my doctor when he sat down and he told me the complications, and he said, yeah, it's a 98% chance, a 98 to 2% chance that you're going to be fine. So that's a pretty good risk. I'll take that, It's pretty good risk. So.
Sure. Now, hey, well, I forgot to ask this too, because for me, this was the very first time I had ever had surgery. Walter, was this the first time you ever had surgery?
Oh, big time. I was only in the hospital once in my life. It was last year. I had this back attack, and that's it. But prior to that, I had never even taken a painkiller. I was one of those people. Oh, don't give me pills. I don't want to take any pills.
Yeah, you guys don't really like that.
That was one of my big things. Was for the first time I was going to spend the night at the hospital because I had never. I mean, I've been to the hospital like if I needed to have a procedure or something quick like an outpatient, but I've never stayed the night. And that to me, I was more concerned about the fact that I wasn't leaving right away because I wasn't used to that. Versus the actual procedure. I mean, because I was pretty confident regarding the procedure itself because of the success, and I looked into my surgeon and his credentials and his basically I looked at his baseball card, looked at the stat sheet, and I was confident about that. So.
Yeah, I agree. I don't mean to cut you off, but for me, I had this episode. This happened to me during the journey, and it was just as my father had passed. And I had already had these little second doubts, these little nagging doubts about my surgeon, about the aftercare. And one of the best things I did was really I researched, and I felt much better about the team that I went with. And I tried to pick, the way you see it is you really only got one shot at this, especially for the sleeve. It's irreversible. I mean, yes, you can get revisions and stuff, but you wanna make sure you get the best surgeon you can get. And I think that sometimes people. Obviously, we want to promote this surgery. We want people to succeed, and we know how great the surgery is, and we've seen the successes for myself. Phil's living it, and you are too right now, Andrew. And I guess I am too in a way. But the point is, there are complications. It is a major surgery, so you don't. There's a lot of people out there. It's almost becoming like plastic surgery. You're seeing ads for it all over the place. I mean, especially in New York City, there's a lot of places that I'm sure it happens everywhere. It's almost becoming like almost cosmetic in a sense. Like there's ads for these bariatric surgery places popping up. So really do your research, and I think that's one of the most important things is picking the right surgeon.
No, agreed. I couldn't agree more on this. And another question I saw earlier that's come down the line. Before that, though, I have to note I was looking at the comments. I gotta stop talking about females because my wife's watching downstairs now on her cell phone. So cut me off. But another question I saw from VSG Tanya. She asked, and she asked if we had any gold clothes. Do you have like a gold piece of article of clothing that you have right now?
Goal? No, but I could think of like 100 costumes I'd love to be able to fit into next Halloween.
Oh, I already know probably your number one. It's definitely, I can't imagine you wouldn't want to be Dr. Frankenfurter.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to take a long time before I can fit into that corset. I mean, listen, I live in the village. I can go and get the outfit, right? That was somebody posted that. Somebody said you should start shopping for shoes. I'm like, I could go outside and get shoes. I can get a men's 12 high heels vest and I can get a coffee.
Nice. Oh, that was such a good setup too.
Good times. But yeah, no, I mean, I love playing dress up. There's so many outfits I would love. But we'll talk about that later.
Oh my God! So in future iterations, as you start losing weight, we may not have to worry about what kind of hat that you're going to wear.
Oh my God!
What kind of?
I got to start shopping now. I need some much better hats.
There you go. Yeah, I'm still going hatless until I find the right hat that I want for the show. So.
Yeah, you don't want to make a mistake. You go big or go home. You know what to do.
Exactly. But
you need your crowns, gentlemen. You need your crowns.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, man. I mean, TJ's steampunk was like, how do you compete with that? You can't. It's impossible.
The ensemble with that hat and those goggles.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
The funny thing about that is, like, before every show, he's sitting there, bald head. He's all cooled off. All right, time to get it all on. He starts putting it all on, and it's got. He's in Florida, and the guy's just doing it because he wants to put the show on and make it look good. And so you guys don't know how much he suffered. I'm just saying, he suffered.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, it's like it's like on all the sci-fi shows. The one who has to put on the makeup, they have to be there like
5 hours before they shoot.
Yeah, their call time is 3 hours before everybody else. And then they got to take it off at night. It's the worst.
No, exactly. Oh God, I remember seeing. You see those behind the scenes, and you're like, oh my God, I just couldn't do that.
Yeah, those poor Klingons.
Oh yeah, or I'm thinking of all the people who, all the setup for Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God, dude! I just watched it. It was on TNT, like TNT. I watched all the movies, even the 2 Hobbit movies. I'm bedridden. I'm like, oh my God, this was overkill. Speaking English in my sleep.
Oh Jesus! Here's another question for you, actually. So Walter, you've done so well prior to surgery. Did you get a lot of pressure from your family or friends to not do the surgery?
Oh, well, I mentioned it a few times, but yeah, there was definitely this, like, oh, you're doing so great, you could do this on your own. Yeah, I got that a lot. I mean, I did. It was loving. It wasn't, I guess it was just that they're worried too, so, if it ain't broke, don't break it, but I just tried to explain to them that I've had a lifetime of these successes before, and I've never been able to keep it off permanently, and I'm getting longer in the tooth, and there's so many things I want to do in my life, and and I have to do this. I just have to do this. And it was also a difficult time, as I said, the holidays are coming up. I mean, there was so many things that would make it seem like I'm almost being selfish in a sense, but I knew I had this window. And I knew I had to go for it. It was my only shot. Like I've worked so hard, and when my father passed, it was just devastating, obviously. But that that was something else there. This is this thing that I've been working for, and I was actually supposed to go on the table with like 2 weeks right after my father had passed, and I like to think that maybe a good thing that at least some sort of weird positive thing happened was it really made me question the facility, and I needed the time to grieve, and it made me change venues. So who knows? Like on a timeline, maybe I go there and I have a complication, and who knows? So I don't, I'm just trying to find a positive thing. But yes, my family there was definitely a sense of, you can do this on your own, but they understand. I mean, they know. They know. I mean, they've seen me live this way for so long, going up and down like this. So, and they really trusted me. I mean, I have to say, like, they just knew that I did the research. They okay, if this is what you want, So they're behind me, but I guess they were just worried. I guess it's natural for them to be worried.
Oh, fair enough. Absolutely. I mean, how can you not be worried? I mean, it's a major surgery, regardless of anything else. So I mean, it's still a concern. So.
That's funny you said that about there were no 60-year-old obese people. Max Benson said that a lot too. He's like, yeah, I'd go there and there were no 60-year-old black overweight men sitting in the room. They just weren't there.
Yeah, I like Max's videos. I didn't watch enough of them. I mean, I watched the one that everybody sees, which is the top 10 reasons why not to get the surgery, which is a fantastic video. And that was one that, and that was actually the #1 reason is why can't you do this on your own? So if you haven't seen that video, if you're pre-op, go check out Max Benson's top 10 reasons why not to have VSG surgery. I'll give that a plug because it was a fantastic video.
That's a good one. Yeah.
All right. Well, looks like TJ's watching because he asked us if we have a goal sexual position. So, hi, TJ.
Yeah, any position. That's my goal sexual position.
Your goal sexual position is yes, please.
Yeah. Okay.
But I did see another question that I thought would.
Oh, he dodged that question. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I like that.
You can't let him do that shit, Walter.
Yeah, no, I should be on to. Come on, Andy.
Because his wife's watching, and you have to watch him squirm really bad right now.
I'm gonna say I'll just say I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one right now.
Reverse cowgirl. No. Well, I didn't know any sexual positions until I watched TJ's Back to Basics. Did you see that?
Yes.
Andrew, you have to see that video. It's so funny. He has these diagrams that are just priceless. It's really killer shit.
I will have to go and check that out because that one I've definitely
I recommend that too. Maybe before Max Benson's, I recommend TJ's sexual positions. It's a back to basics. I think it was a back to basics.
We need to in a future episode we need to highlight some of our favorite like basically older videos. Like if you're in, regardless of what stage you're in, you need to see these videos, especially if you're pre-op.
Big time. I mean, there's plenty of them out there, really. I mean, it's
absolutely.
I always try to promote them because they're really valuable.
No, I agree. This was another question that came up I thought would be good to address for both Walter and myself. That fat chick, she said her surgery is actually December 30th, and as of the moment, she says I'm not excited as I thought I would be. It took so long for me to get to this point. The excitement is gone. I feel that way.
The thrill is gone, babe. All I can say to that is just really think the thing that kept me going through this entire process, and believe me, there's been plenty of, I mean, I keep talking about my father's death, but my God, man, I mean, that really would have derailed me any other time. If I hadn't had the community, that would have definitely derailed me. I've said it 100 times. I know for a fact I would have just been completely just covered in grief and just went. I probably would have started drinking again. I know. But what kept me going is the idea of permanency. If you've been long suffering with obesity for a long time and you've had successes and so many failures, there's the sense of permanency. Obviously you have to be committed, but I don't think you would have even wanted this surgery if you weren't willing to make a change. So just believe in yourself. I mean, if you're committed to getting the surgery, if you've already taken the steps and you've seen your nutritionist and you go psych eval, that means there's a part of you that knows you need this surgery. So just follow that, and just remember, just focus on the success stories. And some people have like a vision board. People are into these different types of things, but just keep focusing. Like I honestly did. I pictured a lot of people like less of Sarah. Love her. I mean, I in my mind, I picture her from her first videos, and I picture her now. And there's a lot of them. There's so many different people. There's just believe that you can have a sense of permanency, and that's what really kept me going.
No, I agree. I mean, and for me, I mean, I was a long journey because I mean, I had my surgery September 23rd, but I began my entire process basically beginning of January. I mean, I had a lot that I had to prepare for just to get to that point, and I don't want to say I was ever like excited. Like I didn't wake up surgery day. All right, it's surgery day. Let's go. But I knew that, especially once I had my surgery date. I mean, that was the, I guess, the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. I mean, it was my preparing for this. I have all this knowledge, at my disposal. I have this community that supports me. I have, family and friends and everything else, and it's just been this buildup that prepared me to get to that point. And I don't want to say so whether you're excited or not. I think it's being prepared, physically and mentally for what you're about to undertake. It's a big deal. So I mean, to kind of help that along, if you're kind of just sitting there, especially if it's December, I mean, that you're looking at basically a month out. I mean, there's still that's still a good amount of time, and you still have, God, in the middle of that you've got Thanksgiving and Christmas. You're looking at that right before New Year's. So I mean, I know there's a lot to kind of keep you busy, but it's definitely, I'd say, just you can't lose focus on everything that you've already done to get to that point.
And I think one of the things that's going to happen, like the switch gets flicked, like whatever nervousness you have, all of a sudden becomes a nervousness about not getting the surgery. Like for me, there was this 2 weeks, I talked about it in my videos, where I had to go for my 2 weeks right before to give the blood work and to get the anesthesia clearance. And then this woman sits down next to me and like coughs in my face. Everybody was sick everywhere around me. All I was trying to do was just say, "Oh my God, I cannot get sick," because the prospect of this surgery being postponed another 2 months, 3 months, because my surgeon was so popular. It was, to me, that became my biggest fear, was not getting the surgery. So, and I think when you get to that point, you know this is what you need. You know everything changes. You might have had some trepidations before. You might have been a little bit worried, but then all of a sudden your fears turn into, oh my God, I can't get. What am I going to do if I don't get the surgery? I need the surgery. Like you'll get to that place too. Then you'll really know, like this is what you need to do. This is definitely where you should be. And
exactly.
You need the surgery.
No, I agree. How do you feel? Your Phil's been pretty quiet here lately.
I don't know.
I'm watching the show. I feel like TJ. I just get to watch the show while I'm on the show. It's awesome. Okay, but, no. I mean, I was just sitting here going. I go, this is exactly what I was hoping for. You know, what I mean, I'm just sitting here watching, going, yep, this is exactly what I was hoping for. This dialogue back and forth like this. At that level where you guys are at, that's exactly what the show needed back. And
Stay back like a proud papa.
Yeah, so I'm like, yeah, this is it. And I'm sure TJ is thinking the same thing. So we definitely talked about this. So
look, it's pretty simple. It's in the title. You need some fat guys.
That's,
I mean, it's simple as that.
It kind of sells it. Yeah.
Right, it's Fat Kings TV, not two skinny ass dudes who already lost all the weight.
Did you?
Two skinny dudes rubbing it in your face. Right. Yeah, back in November, bitch.
Look where I am, huh?
Yeah, you like that?
Low.
I'm a fat king. Yeah.
Yeah. Below the waist. So.
Did it?
So, some things you just can't shrink. So, have you guys ever seen the blooper reel that TJ and I put up?
I have not. I did.
Yeah, I think I did. Yeah.
From the original Fat Kings. Oh my God! Every time I watch
it's pretty funny. Yeah.
I almost pass out.
Oh, it's so funny. Didn't that come from the fact that I think the last episode TJ just wanted to show everybody how fucking much work he was putting in, and he's like, okay, let me just show you what it looks like when I don't put the work in. There was that one, the last episode you guys had.
That was a different. Yeah, I do remember that. That wasn't from.
Yeah. I just saw that recently, and it's like, okay, assholes, you want to know why I'm fucking quitting? Because this shit's taking 14 fucking hours to put a 2-hour fucking. Oh God, it looked like he put in a ton of work.
Oh,
I mean,
no, it was
must
painful.
Have been crazy.
Yeah, it was painful. I mean,
I loved how you just said, "Fuck that! If you're not doing it, I ain't doing it."
Well, no, I just didn't have the time. I knew I didn't have the time. I can't do it. So
yeah,
that was the first time I was ever selfish. I'm like, I know I can't do it. So if you don't want to do it anymore, I ain't gonna say shit about it. Let it go, But yeah, the blooper reel probably Mel was mentioning it in the thing. But every time I watch it, still I die laughing. So if you haven't seen it, you guys can use that as a video. Everybody should see because I think that'll give them a good laugh.
Oh, that's definitely I did see it. I definitely did see it. I remember it being really funny.
And you can see it from when we were actually fat, which would be also very helpful.
Yeah, it's good to see that.
Oh man, I mean, the other comment you made about two skinny dudes rubbing it in your face. I mean, if you're into that.
No, my Freudian slip is showing.
You have to keep it a little naughty, guys. So this is good. I'm really happy with this, and I know it's in good hands. And again, like I said, I'm here whenever you guys need me. So if it comes up to something,
I basically feel like we're just like squatters.
Come on, no, not at all.
No, I'm kidding.
Not at all.
About 3-4 months in, we'll be like, fuck it, I want the show back.
After we run this shit to the ground.
Right.
No, I don't want it now. There's no audience. I gotta build the whole new one. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I don't see any other questions there, and I know we're a little bit over, although with the technical difficulties there, we're probably about right.
Yeah, my fault.
No, I was expecting like all kinds of questions. Where is everybody? What the hell?
I know, it has been pretty quiet on the question front, because...
Well, there's a lot of ladies in the audience. I'm going to give you guys
ladies. Yeah.
There's a lot of ladies in the audience, And how do I put this delicately? It's hard to type if you don't have both hands.
Right. What's the sound of one hand clapping?
There are three pretty handsome dudes on this show. I'm just saying.
I get it, ladies. I'm like Zap Brannigan. I get
it. I just read something else. I'll tell you guys later. But anyway, so I think appropriately this sign-off should be one of yours, and I think that Andrew and I did talk about what the new exit tag would be, but you are free to use the original one as well. So Andrew, you want to take us out on this one?
Hail to the king, baby.
Very good. Good job. All right,
Thanks
gang.
for
It's
watching.
been fun, man. I can't wait. I'm looking forward to the future. It's going to be great.
Peace, guys.